Hey guys, welcome to Mindful Lately. I'm Taffy, and on this corner of the internet, it's all about breath, it's about movement, and it's about creating a little more space and intention in everyday life. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe, like, and share to help this channel grow and reach more people. Today's video is all about the hips, so it's a hip stretching video, and of course the focus is the hips. Hips tend to store a lot of tension, and that's why it's important to regularly stretch in order to release that tension and that stress. I would invite you today to be gentle with yourself and anchor in the breath through each of the exercises, just to help you to process and release that tension as easily as possible. If at any point it feels too intense, you can take a break and just come into a child's pose and then jump back in whenever you're ready. So without further ado, let's get into it. So we're just going to start in a seated cross-legged position. Drop the shoulders, exhale, and just let your body sink into the ground and the mat below you. And then inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Inhale through the nose and exhale. One more time. And exhale. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes, and we're going to start with the first stretch. So bring the soles of your feet together. And if this is too intense, you can either shift the feet or your legs forward, or you can use blocks or books on either side of the knees just to release or reduce the intensity of the stretch, and then you can slowly ease into it. So we're just going to hold here for a moment. And remember to anchor into the breath. And so nice deep inhales and exhales as much as you can. And then from here, you're going to stretch the arms forward. And you can try to walk the palms a little bit further if your body allows. Otherwise, just stretch them forward. And if that's already a bit too intense, you can just bring them a little bit back. So it's all about just listening to your body and adjusting as needed. And if you feel safe and comfortable to do so, you can ease into a deeper stretch every couple of breaths, but you don't have to. And then release. And you're going to bring your knees together and going to swing the legs to one side, and we're going to transition into a tabletop position. And in this position, you're going to bring your big toes together, point them to each other, knees slightly outwards, stretch the arms forward as far as you can, and then push the hips back, allowing your chest and forehead to sink into the mat, into a child's pose. This is a little pause. Exhale, let go. And then from here, we're going to come up and we are going to go into the next stretch. And so you're going to stretch your right leg out. You can rest the inner part of your foot onto the mat or your whole foot depending on your mobility. And then in this position, you're going to come into a single-legged child's pose. So just like before, stretch the arms forward and then lower your upper body into the ground or onto the knee. If this is too intense for you, you are welcome to either move the hips slightly forward, or you can bend the knee and drop it down. This is also an option. And so just see what works for you in this moment. And again, here anchoring into the breath. So a couple of inhales and exhales. And perhaps focusing on the hips and envisioning that with every exhale, you are releasing a little bit of that tension. And so one more breath here. And then we're going to come back up. Pull that leg back in. And then we're going to switch sides. And so stretch out your other leg, your left leg, or bent knee variation. And then stretch your arms forward and drop back down through the hips. And a couple of breaths. One more breath here. And then come back up, slide that leg back in. And then we're going to come up, hands on hips. And then you're going to bring your right knee forward. And you're going to push the hips forward and then bring your right arm up to the ceiling. And you're going to hold here. Remember, if at any point any of the stretches are too intense, just come into a child's pose position. Take a break, reset, and then jump back in. And then from here, you're going to come back. Place your palms or fingertips onto the mat. Draw that foot in just a little bit and then Bend the knee outwards, settling the lower part of your leg onto the mat into a pigeon pose. If you need support here, you can place books or a block, a yoga block, just underneath your butt. And then you have the option to stay upright. Otherwise, you are welcome to come lower onto your underarms and even lower onto your forehead. Or you can transition through the 3 positions step by step. So you can start upright, take a few breaths, come a bit lower, a few breaths until you reach the bottom. It's up to you. And then from here, we're going to release. So come back up, turn that knee back in, and release. Push the hips back and come back up. Pull that knee back. And we're going to repeat this on the other side. So bring your left knee forward, hands on hips. And then you're going to shoot that left arm up, fingers pointing to the ceiling. And then from here, we're going to bring the palms onto the mat, point that knee out into a pigeon pose, and then you can either stay up here or come down or make it progressive. Remember to breathe, to take nice deep breaths. This helps your body to relax. This signals your body to relax. And then when you're ready, come back up and release. And then from here, you're going to bring that knee back and we are going to swing the legs to the side and forward and scoot your bum towards your heels. And then we're going to come down onto the mat. And then in this position, plant your feet into the mat or onto the mat. And for the last stretch, the figure 4 stretch, so bring your right leg on top of your left knee. And then you're going to clasp your fingers behind your left knee. And then you can either stop here or you can pull that knee towards you to feel a deeper stretch. And then when you're ready, release. And we're going to switch sides. So left leg on right knee, clasp the fingers around the back of the knee and hold. Otherwise, pull towards your chest. And take a couple of breaths. And then release. Okay. And then now you're going to stretch both arms to the side, palms facing the ceiling. And then you're going to drop the knees to one side, shoulder blades remaining in contact with your mat. And if you like, you can soften your gaze here or close your eyes as we come to the end of this session. And then bring legs to center and switch sides. And then come back to center. Bring both knees to chest, engulfing them in a hug, nice strong hug. Inhale and exhale, release. And again, inhale, come up. And then with the swinging motion, come back up into a seated position. And that was it, guys. I hope that you enjoyed the session, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
Still think about that.